Hi there, my name is U Video, and this is going to be my marathon submission for New Super Luigi U 100%. So New Super Luigi U is the DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U. It features the same world map and all the same boss fights, but all of the levels have been changed from the original game. The category that I'm running is 100%, and our definition of 100% is we need to get these 5 stars right here on our file. That's all that's required, and in order to do that I have to accomplish 3 things. I have to beat every exit, which means not only do I need to beat every level, but the levels that have multiple endings, I have to get both endings. I need to get every star coin. All the levels have 3 big coins called star coins, so I need to grab all of those. And I need to do all 7 of what's called the Nabbit chases. There's one of those in each of the first 7 worlds. So yeah, let's just get started.
Oh yeah.
So right here at the start of 1-1, I'm going to be starting off by doing a triple jump, and triple jumping actually allows you to gain a little bit of extra height on your jump, and it allows me to barely make it up to that first star coin. And now I'm going to be grabbing the acorn power-up. The acorn power-up lets me glide, it lets me do flies like that, and it lets me do what's called a spin jump, which is higher than a normal jump. It's actually the same height as a triple jump. And just like that, we're done with our first level.
Made it.
This run has 95 exits and 7 Nabbit chases, and 1 level you have to do twice, even though it's the same exit. So in total, I guess 103 levels, so 1 down, 102 to go. So here I'm going to be grabbing my first star. And even though it took a little bit of time to grab that, the star increases my speed drastically. So, you know, it's even worth it to grab a second one here. However, your speed is not increased if you're gliding, so right there I try to cut my glide short as soon as I can, because I want to spend very little time gliding. Otherwise I'm not getting that increased speed. And the keen viewer might have noticed that I only grabbed 2 star coins on that level instead of 3. So the thing is, the levels that have multiple exits, you can divide up the star coins however you want. You don't have to get all 3 of them in one exit. Some other games, you know, like Donkey Kong Country games, they have like the Kong letters. You have to get all of them or else they don't count. But the star coins aren't like that. You can divide them amongst the exits. So I will be coming back to 1-2 later in the run to get another exit there, and that's when I'll get my first star coin. And it just ends up being a little faster to do it then. So now, I get to play as Nabbit. Nabbit is the other character in this game. You can play as him by holding ZL when you enter a level, and Nabbit can't take damage. However, he can still die, he can still fall in pits, hit lava, and in the case of this level, this big purple fish over here can still eat me. But luckily, that didn't happen. Well, okay, luckily that didn't happen. So the other little optimization I can do in this level is try to get blown as far to the right as I can by these pipes, because the streams push me a little bit further to the right. Other than that, it's just a pretty normal swimming level. So this level, we call it One Secret, and this level takes us all the way to World 5. And most people might think, well, you know, since you're doing like a 100% run, why don't you just do all the worlds in order? And I'll kind of get into that more as the run goes on, but I guess I'll just say it now. We do the worlds in kind of a weird order. We do part of World 1, part of World 5, all of World 6, World 7, World 8, and then we finish World 1, do all of World 2, 3, 4, then finish World 5, and then finish the run with World 9. It's a bit of a wacky order, but it will make more sense as the run goes on. So yeah, with that being said, we're going to head into World 5. And it's quite nice that the route the fastest route actually works out like this because we basically clear out the later worlds first, meaning the first part of the run is harder, and we get to get that out of the way early, which is really nice. So 5-1 is our next level, and 5-1 features a really cool mechanic that I call neutral jumps. So 5-1 has these vines that you can swing off of, and when you swing on the vines, you have an increased speed. And if you were just to hold right when you jump off of them, that speed will decrease once you jump off. But if you let go of the D-pad or the control stick when you do it, you just keep that faster speed. It might be a little hard to tell, but over the course of the whole level, it actually can save a couple of seconds. Before we found that trick, we were doing this level about 3 seconds slower. So right there, you might have noticed I kind of hit that Koopa shell twice. If you run through that in a specific way, you can hit it twice, and that actually causes it to go faster, which is really cool. And of course, you can use shells to grab star coins in this game, which is going to be used all over, including right here. Ground pounding shells also allows them to travel faster. I messed up one of my neutral jumps there at the end. So when you mess them up, usually what happens is you kind of just lose your speed. But it's not a big deal. Didn't lose too much time. So I kind of explained what the 100% definition was, and one of the things I mentioned was the 7 nabbit chases. So now we're about to go do our first nabbit chase. Basically what these are is you're required to go back to a level you've already done and catch this dude Nabbit in the level. It's kind of funny because you can play as Nabbit, so it doesn't really make any sense. But if you try to enter those levels like with the let's say Nabbit's in a level, if you try to enter that level as Nabbit, it just plays the normal level. You have to actually enter it as Luigi in order to do the Nabbit chase, so I guess that at least makes sense. So here I'm going to be doing something called a fast acceleration, where as soon as I gain control of Luigi, I'm going to jump and then glide. And that's actually faster than just running to the right. You actually accelerate a little bit faster. If I weren't to have done that, I would not have been able to catch Nabbit that early. And that's used all over the run. But I can only do it as Luigi because Nabbit can't glide. And it's really convenient that those Nabbit chases give us a reward of a P acorn, and you're going to be seeing the P acorn really soon. What the P acorn does is it allows us to fly as many times as we want. Like these flies, you can usually only do those once before you touch the ground again. You can refresh it by touching the ground again, but with a P acorn, you don't even have to touch the ground again. You can just do it as many times as you want. So that is faster for 3 levels in this run. And we're going to be using our first one right now. And I'll do the skip first and then I'll talk about it. Alright, cool. In any percent speedruns, we also have to do this level, but we don't have a P acorn, so the skip we have to do is much, much harder. Of course, we don't have to grab the star coins, but it's still a harder skip. So it's quite nice that 100% requires those Nabbit chases, so we can just use P acorns for a couple of these levels, in addition to it just being faster. So right here, I jump at a specific visual cue on the ground, and that actually allows me to perfectly land on Boom Boom's head. Also, yeah, shoutouts to the first boss fight of the game. We're going to be fighting this guy a lot of times, so get used to it. Also, you might have noticed right there the P Acorn suit just turned into a normal Acorn suit, and that's just a mechanic of this game. You're only allowed to use the P Acorn suit for one level. And what's interesting is that if you enter a level as Nabbit, since Nabbit's supposed to be kind of an Easter egg, the game treats it as if you beat the level as Luigi. So if you like equip your P Acorn, but then you play a level as Nabbit, it actually just gets rid of your P Acorn suit. It's kind of funny. Which kind of sucks casually if you don't know that that's how that works. But it can be useful in speedruns, and I'll talk about that if it comes up during the run. Because that is a mechanic we use to save time. So now I'm going to be going for my second exit here in 5-2. And I'm going to be trying to go fast here. Ooh, this might not be fast enough. So I'm going to slow down right here before I hit the flagpole, because if I were to hit the flagpole when the timer was at a 77, I would get something called fireworks. And what fireworks are is it's an extra long level ending cutscene. It's about 17 seconds longer, and it basically rewards you with an additional power up depending on what number you get. But it just takes a really long time. So even though like it is a good safety strat to go for fireworks, getting 77 at any flagpole will give you a backup acorn. That is like a good beginner strat. I personally don't go for that as it's just really slow. And there are faster backup acorns that you can get. Also, for these text boxes at the end of the Nabbit cutscenes, you can advance them by either pressing A or Start. And so I just alternate between the two buttons. So doing the secret exit in 5-2 allows us access to this bottom half of World 5 without having to go through that middle section that we call the Haunted Forest. And we're actually going to be coming to that Haunted Forest section all the way pretty much at the end of the run. Like I mentioned, we saved that half of World 5 for later. Just ends up being faster in terms of map movement. So now I'm coming up on a pretty tight jump for this third start point. Nabbit has these little twirls that can kind of extend your jump. They're quite nice. Luigi has them too, but you can't do them with the Acorn power-up, because the way you do them is by pressing ZR or ZL. But if you press that with the Acorn power-up, you just fly up into the air, so it doesn't work. Like, you can actually do them if you've already flown, but that's the only case. And then, I mean, if you're like normal Luigi, of course, you can always do them. This level has some really cool use of Acorn movement. I really like this level. Oh. Well, I messed it up a little, but that's fine. Alright. So our next level is 5 Castle, and if you remember those vines that we had in 5-1, 5 Castle has pretty much the same thing, but they're now chains, but they work exactly the same way. So I'm going to be doing the same trick where I neutral jump off of them. And if I do it fast enough, I can actually make a cycle. If you look at this lava at the bottom, it's moving on a cycle. And if I'm fast enough, it allows me to grab a star coin early, but I will not be fast enough. So that's kind of unfortunate that I died there, because when you die as Nabbit, it treats it as if you died as Luigi. So I'm going to lose my Acorn suit, but it won't be a big deal. So I'll try to make this cycle. So just like that, I can grab the third star coin, and the reason that's fast is because I have to wait out a cycle for this second one anyway. So if I can grab the third one before it, then I don't have to worry about grabbing the third one after, you know, I can just... I have to kill time anyway, right? So I might as well do something useful while I'm waiting. And now we're coming into the first RNG point of the run. This is Iggy, and Iggy can either pop out on the left or the right side of the screen. So I'm going to hope that he pops out on the left because I can get a fast hit on him early. Did not get it, unfortunately. That's okay. Only loses about 5 seconds. How long Iggy stays in his shell is also a bit random, but it doesn't usually lose too much time. He'll always go into these pipes 4 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, did I miscount? I don't know what happened there. Well, I'm actually not really sure what happened. Okay, whatever. So remember that mechanic earlier I was talking about where if you use your P acorn, but then if you play a level as Nabbit, it just treats it as if you played it as Luigi, so it turns your P acorn suit into a normal acorn. Well, that's actually going to be useful right about now. So the thing with the P acorn, on levels with flagpoles in particular, if you beat one of those levels with P acorn, it plays this little cutscene of the P acorn suit turning into the normal acorn suit. And that's kind of slow. So by just playing the level as Nabbit, we can get rid of the P acorn suit without having to watch the little cutscene. And so that's what I'm going to do now. So when I pop out of this level, I'll just have a normal acorn suit again. And this is another level that makes pretty heavy use of these little twirls you can do as Nabbit. Something else I also haven't really talked about until now is a really interesting mechanic in this game. For whatever reason, when you hit a flagpole as Nabbit, it ends up being about 0.3 or 0.4 faster than when you hit a flagpole as Luigi. Why? No one really knows, but it is just a mechanic. So the general rule of thumb is if a level is the same speed as either character, do it as Nabbit. And you would think it's like always easier because Nabbit can't get hit, but in a lot of cases it's actually harder because it requires you to have good platforming skills. As Luigi, there's a lot of cases where you can kind of just fly over everything. Nabbit doesn't have that privilege. So here I'm going to try to get a fast bounce off these music blocks. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out, but it's not a big deal. Music blocks can be a little bit weird in the way that they handle your speed when you jump off of them. You have to jump off of a specific point to keep all of your speed and get a high jump. Right here, I'm gonna wall jump off of that pipe right as it spits me out. We call those pipe jumps. Wall jumping lets you accelerate faster than just normal running, so it's a mechanic that's used like everywhere. Anytime you get spit out of a pipe like that. Saves some frames throughout the run. Alright, this level features our only glitch. I'm going to be doing a clip here. So next to that hidden block that I activated, there was another hidden block, but you wouldn't have known because I just clipped right through it. It doesn't even save like that much time. Oh no. Okay, well, that's okay. So I was trying to kill that rolling dude there. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. That is one of the harder strats of the run, but I wanted to go for it. So it's okay. So My best course of action is just to complete the normal exit here. Normally I would do the secret exit first, but luckily enough, because of like the world map movement that I do, I end up passing by the secret exit again later anyway, or by this level again anyway, so I can do the secret exit without losing time. And there's another level that I can grab Acorn in very easily, so this is not a big deal at all. So, I mean, in like a marathon run, you wouldn't see my splits, but, you know, I'm gonna skip a couple splits, basically. And we'll come back and do those levels later. That's the nice thing about 100%. It offers a lot of, like, nice backup opportunities because you have to do all the levels anyway. It's like, oh, well, this level would be slow to do right now because I lost my power-up, but I can just do it later. And, yeah, it's quite nice that you can do that. So, instead, I'll just do 6-4. This is a nice, easy auto-scroller. Fun fact is that you can actually not make the screen start scrolling here if you use a P Acorn in this level. You can actually get to the end much faster than like waiting out the auto-scroller. The unfortunate part is that the first star coin doesn't pop out if you do that. So you would just be unable to get all the coins. So unfortunately for 100% we have to do the auto-scroller. But luckily it's not too long. Interesting thing about New Super Luigi U compared to Mario U is that the levels are all really short. And they also don't have checkpoints. That was kind of the like gimmick of this game. The levels are short, they don't have checkpoints, and they only have 100 seconds on the timer. The 100% run for this game is actually over an hour shorter than the run for Mario U, even though it's the same number of levels. Just because the levels are so short. So that's kind of nice because that means we don't really have any like long auto-scrollers. Actually, no, I could have done a safety strat here, but I think I'll just do what I'm more comfortable with. As you can tell, this is a very nice level to have access to Nabbit. Like, this one's not too much slower as Luigi, but it's quite nice just being able to run through all the enemies. Alright, now we're gonna get our Acorn back. So I can just use this shell here to grab star coin number 1. And like I said earlier, you know, you can split up the star coins however you like, pretty much, on the levels that have 2 exits. That was a little weird. I'm gonna have to look out for getting 77 at the flagpole here. I think I'll be okay though. Yeah, I'm all good. So the next level is one of my favorites. This is a little hard though, so we'll see how it goes. It does feature a bit of RNG because one of the star coins is next to an enemy that I need to move out of the way, and it kind of takes a random amount of time to move. We'll see how it goes. Also just features some of the coolest movement in the run. Perfect. Alright, so if you remember, I've talked about fast accelerations, right? I do a jump and then a quick glide in order to accelerate a little bit faster. That's very important for this boss fight, because if I do a really good fast accel, I'm actually able to get an early hit on this guy. Normally he would kind of jump up to that top platform, but I can actually hit him before he jumps up there, and that saves a couple of seconds. Nice. Alright, that was really good. That level's always a bit of a scary one, so it was good to get through that. So now I'm going to be doing 6, 7. I would normally do this level as Luigi, but it's only like half a second slower to do it as Nabbit. And because I've already used my backup power-up, I'd rather not get hit again. So I think I'm just going to do it smart. And the reason it's a lot smarter to do this level as Nabbit is not because it's even really that hard of a level, but because this level features Fire Bros. And Fire Bros move around randomly, and they also throw fireballs randomly. So if you just get unlucky, you can just get hit here with Luigi. It's a little bit annoying. Luckily, Fire Bros aren't really like a big problem throughout the run. Like, they are present, but I think there's only 3 levels with Fire Bros. And it's not really that bad in any of them, in my opinion. Alright, now we finally get to go back and do those levels we missed. So that's fun. So first I'm going to be doing 6, 3. Six three is like interesting because it can actually be this next part right here it's really hard to get enough height to get up here. Luckily I got it. Alright, so that was very good. That should set me up to get a high 76 at the flagpole. Perfect. Barely avoiding those fireworks. Don't want to watch that 17-second cutscene. And now we can go back and do 6 tower normal secret exit. Now normally in runs I would be going for that strat where I try to kill that rolling guy. But I'm not going to go for it here. It only saves like 2 seconds. And I already got hit. So I'll just take it a little safe. Nothing wrong with taking things a little safe in a no reset run, huh? So now we're back on track. And we got acorn suits, so we're all good.
Oh, secret.
So the interesting thing about this next auto-scroller is just like the previous one, you can also skip this one with P Acorn. Oh, forgot about that. You can also skip this auto-scroller with P Acorn. However, just like the other one, the third coin does not pop out if you try to do that, so you just have to take the auto-scroller, unfortunately. Luckily, this is another real quick one. If you've ever played New Super Mario Bros. Wii, you might recognize this bone coaster from that game. I think that's pretty nostalgic for a lot of people. There is one cool little trick you can do with this guy though. The very end of the level, I can do a spin jump off of him, and that'll actually allow me to carry a bunch of momentum with my spin jump. Spin jumps are really interesting because they have a property of they carry momentum of whatever you spin jump off of. So if you spin jump off of something that's moving faster, it will carry that extra speed. We'll see that also with some rolling hills later in the run.
Phew, made it.
And now we're going into our next Nabbit chase. And you might think I'm getting another backup power-up from this one, but I am not, because I have to actually save this one to use it in a specific level, 8-2. So we're still going power-up-less, but if anything goes wrong, I mean, Nabbit is always an option, and there's backups. It's just a little slow. Overall, that was a good way of handling World 6, though, despite, you know, getting hit. I'm happy with that. So, I talked earlier about, you know, there was one level that doesn't have multiple exits, but we still have to do it twice, and this is that level, 6 Castle. So 6 Castle, this third coin, you can only do it by entering from the back here. But when you enter from the back, there's no way to reach the front area. And also, it's funny because you would think, like, if there was a way you could clip over to, like, clip, I don't know, through the wall or something. Maybe you do the level all in one go. So it turns out, they create the illusion that, like, the area for this third coin is, like, an area, you know, behind the door. But it's actually an entirely separate sub-area from the regular castle. And there's, so there's no way to get back there because it's an entirely different area. There are actually 2 different doors that lead to the boss fight. It's pretty interesting. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever be able to skip having to do this level twice, which is too bad because this is like one of the longer Koopaling fights and we have to do it twice. But it's okay.
Yes, I'm a winner.
See, I hope you like Roy, because we get to see him quite a lot. Not as much as Boom Boom, though. That guy we fight in the towers, we get to see him, I don't know how many times, like 6, 7? I think 7 times.
Let's go.
Alright, so there is a little bit of RNG with these blocks, particularly the ones that are falling from the ceiling here. Fortunately, that was a bit of a slower pattern. There's one where you can make it through without having to do an extra fly, but that doesn't lose very much time at all. And then here at the end, you're supposed to hit that switch to have these blocks move to the right, but you can just glide over the whole thing with Luigi, which is very convenient. I haven't even really talked about door entries. Door entries are really interesting in this game, particularly the tower and castle door entries. So the castles have those big blue doors, and to get a perfect door entry on the castle doors, it's actually pixel perfect. Otherwise, you will have this little animation of Luigi walking towards the middle of the door. However, on the tower doors look exactly the same, they're just red, but they actually act differently. All you have to do on the tower doors is kind of be touching the middle, and it won't do that extra animation of Luigi walking towards the middle. You'll just enter instantly. So it's really interesting that they're programmed differently, despite them just kind of being, like, they look exactly the same, they're just different colors. It's really interesting that the game devs did that. No one really knows why that is a mechanic, but we just come to accept it. And just like that, we have completely cleared our first world, World 6. So part of why the route is the way it is, you saw that cutscene right there that says you've completely cleared World 6. So if I have already beaten the game and I've already unlocked World 9, it'll actually play an extra cutscene after that text box showing a level unlocking in World 9. Like, for example, if I'd beaten World 6, it would show 9-6 unlocking, because that's the level that corresponds. So that's part of the reason why we completely clear some of these worlds earlier in the run. However, it's not faster to do that for every world, and I'll talk more about that as we get into the second half. Nice, that is a hard strat. Yeah, this level is kind of scary, so I'm glad to make it through that. I didn't want to jinx it. Some of those jumps can be really tight. The Ice Bros in that level are also RNG, so whether or not they freeze the fuzzies can be a little random. There's a particular fuzzy that if it gets frozen, it makes that level a bit easier. Didn't get so lucky, but it doesn't actually save time, it just makes the level easier. So it didn't even end up mattering. And if I had gotten hit at any point, there's a red coin ring right there, which allows me to grab 8 red coins, and I would have gotten my acorn back. So, you know, if something happens in like a marathon run, for example, I can always do that. Didn't have to do that, though. So we're coming up on our next level that also features Fire Bros. This is a fun one. I'm also going to be going for a pretty tight cycle here in the first room. So we'll see if I make it. I'm going to try to grab our second star coin and then just barely avoid hitting a fireball. Not going to get it. So I'll go ahead and just go for the next cycle. Yeah, I could have done that a cycle earlier, but that's okay. That only loses 3 seconds. No big deal at all. So these guys are random, so a lot of people like try to kill them. They can kind of like juke you out and move right out of your way as you try to jump on them, and then you just get hit. So I actually just hang out above them. The acorn has this property where you can just hold onto walls for a really long time. So I actually just use that right here. And I have a setup to get through these blocks pretty much as soon as they open up. Doing a glide actually makes your hitbox a little bit smaller. It allows you to squeeze through some tight gaps. Okay, that was kind of sketchy. Alright, so this boss fight against Kamek, I have to hit him 3 times. For the first 2 hits, he spawns somewhere random, and this block pattern he spawns here is also random, so I have to just hope to get lucky. I'm not going to go for that one. Alright, that's some good luck. If I can hit him, well, not that big of a deal. Whoops. Alright, luckily you can do some ground pound cancels there to stall in the middle of the screen, and like I said, only the first 2 hits are random. After you hit him the second time, he always spawns in the top middle. So I already knew he was going to be there. So luckily, you know, I could just make my way over there without having to take a guess. And also conveniently, the next level has a backup acorn, so not really that big of a deal that I took damage there. And just like that, I already have our acorn suit back. And I'm actually going to be getting another backup acorn suit soon, so I won't have to be as careful. Well, I'll still be careful, but I will be getting another backup soon. Like one that's actually a backup, not like a P acorn that I'm required to use in a certain spot. This next level, 7 Ghost House normal. We used to do this without a star. We found out it's slightly faster. If you're really good at this star grab, here it is, to get a star for this level. And in addition, it just looks cooler. Don't do that. That's okay. I am gonna look out for fireworks here, though. I don't want to get a 77. That's something you just like have to be very, very cognizant of when you run this game. You have to kind of know the fastest times you can get on these levels, like if you don't make a mistake, and then when you do make a mistake, you have to think, well, could that lead me to get fireworks? And, you know, you just have to always be looking out for it. Now we got our next Nabbit chase. Here I'm going to do a little strat. If you slide down a slope and hit Nabbit, you actually stun him, so then I can just go backwards and grab him. It's really interesting. Just like that. Also, I guess I could have mentioned this earlier, but sliding down slopes in general is faster if it's a gentle slope. If it's a steep slope, then it's not faster. And you never want to run down slopes, that's not fast. If it's a steep slope, you just want to jump over it. That's basically our rule. Alright, I'm going to concentrate for this level because it is a bit tricky. But there is a cool platform skip you can do here at the beginning. There is actually one you can do later in the level, but I won't be going for it because it only saves 2 seconds, and if I fail it, it leads to some bad consequences. This level is also another one where it's very tight. Well, not very tight, but it's kind of tight to not get the double digits on the flagpole. I'm probably gonna get a 67. Yeah, see, I barely avoided it.
Made it.
Alright, and now we have, it's called Rainbow Bridge. So Rainbow Bridge, there are 2 levels I need to get to, and in order to get to both of those levels, I have to cross this bridge, but it's random if it'll let me actually access those levels. So that was very lucky. I do have access to this top level here right now, 7-4, and I already know that that block is going to give me an acorn. That's actually a random item, but you might have noticed I didn't actually start the game technically from a new file. I started from what we call a 0 file, where I've just watched the opening cutscene, but done nothing else. By starting from the same 0... Hold on. By starting from the same 0 file every time, you can actually get the same acorn... Or sorry, you can get the same power-up RNG on those blocks. That's the only RNG that we know is manipulatable. We didn't exactly intend to allow that, but it just kind of ended up happening. I'm gonna have to wait here. But it ends up actually being kind of nice for runs. It is a little bit controversial, I won't lie. Some people aren't too happy that that is a result of us allowing people to start runs on 0 files, but the alternative is having to watch a 2-minute intro cutscene at the start of every single run, which wouldn't be horrible for this category, but for like an any % run, it's really short, that would really suck. So there's our first extra bridge. I'm trying to get to that bottom level, but unfortunately, there was an enemy blocking my way. Okay, that's actually still really good RNG. So only 1 extra bridge. That's not bad at all. I'm gonna lose a little more time than I should have because I messed up the other level, but not too badly. This is one of the levels that I can agree with people. Nabbit makes it absolutely easy. When with Luigi, it's like way harder. There is actually a Luigi only 100% category in this game, which just bans using Nabbit. That is actually a lot of fun. It is very, very hard though. I have done some runs of that. Alright, now we have our hardest skip of the game. So at the start of this level, there's something called a snake block, these green blocks, and if you touch it, the screen starts scrolling automatically. So... No! Okay, I'm gonna have to just take them, unfortunately. You can do a skip here to avoid that. But that's okay, no big deal. The skip saves, what, like 25 seconds? You can skip the screen scrolling automatically, and so it allows you to actually get to the end of the level with just a normal acorn power-up. But yeah, luckily there's some red coins in this level, which just let you get your power-up back very quickly, so that's quite nice.
Made it. it.
Little unfortunate I didn't get to show off the skip, but it's not really the end of the world.
Ah.
So 7 Castle, our next level here, is a cycle-based level. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of waiting. So this next block here actually doesn't start moving until you get close to it. So that part is not like a global cycle, but yeah. And then if I'm fast here, well, fast enough, I can avoid those fire bars, which is nice. So this next boss coming up is Ludwig, and Ludwig is supposed to be the next boss that has RNG. His gimmick is he creates 3 clones of himself, and you have to guess which one is the real Ludwig. And there is like a visual cue to tell which one is the real Ludwig, but we don't even have to worry about that, because we have the acorn suit. And with the acorn suit, we can just fly right up and hit him instantly. Just like that. Also, you might notice that it seems like I'm hitting these Koopalings a little late. It seems like they popped out of their shell a little while ago. Like, why am I hitting kind of late? They're not actually able to be hit for a little bit until a little bit after they pop out of their shell, or at least most of the Koopalings. Some of them are different. I don't know. It kind of depends on which one you're fighting. They have like different properties. Iggy, for example, you can hit him right away. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing with the Koopalings. Roy, you can hit right away as well, actually. Yeah, I don't know. They're strange, but the rest of them, you have to wait a bit. So now we're going into 7 Airship, and I want to just draw some attention to this cutscene right here. So a big part of the reason this is the route is because there's another level in this game, 5 Airship, and 5 Airship would normally have a cutscene like this one that plays before you enter it. But if you do 7 Airship first, that cutscene doesn't play. So part of the reason we go do later worlds first is because of that. Alright, now I'm gonna do a skip. You're supposed to wait on that big cloud at the start. And that section's supposed to be an auto-scroller with that like giant Bowser hand coming after you. I don't know, that's slow. We don't have to worry about that. You don't even need the acorn suit to skip that. You can actually just skip it with like Nabbit or smaller Luigi or something. It's pretty easy actually. Like, even if I had gotten hit in the first room, there's also a crate right next to this pipe that gives you an acorn, so it's, like, not that big of a deal. So Bowser Jr. is a really interesting boss. He's also has the same property. You can't hit him, like, right when you think you could hit him for these next 2 hits. Like, I have to wait a bit, and so I actually have a timing. So that was pretty good. I could have hit him like a few frames earlier each time, but that was pretty dang good. And then right there at the end of the flight, I flew off to the very left of the screen and landed on that leftmost block. And that's because the left block actually falls first, and that actually allows Luigi to hit the bottom of the screen sooner. And this cutscene is actually triggered by when Luigi hits the bottom of the screen, so it actually saves time to land on the left there. But yeah, it's really funny, like, on some of my TV videos for this game, I'll get comments like, why didn't you hit Bowser Jr. earlier? You could save like a few seconds there. And it's like, no, you'll get hit if you try to do that. And a lot of people who first start running this game make the mistake of trying to hit him early, and I see it happen. I'm like, oh no. It's pretty funny. But yeah, once you learn the timing on it, it's not too bad. I didn't even really mention it, but compared to Mario U, Luigi actually has slightly different physics. You can actually jump higher than you could in Mario U. You also slip around a bit more. The higher jump is quite nice though for a couple like the boss fights and stuff. Particularly that one on Bowser Jr. makes it much easier to get enough height to get up to him by just jumping and flying. At the end of every world, I'm kind of waiting on making sure I get that text box that says you've completely cleared the world, and if I don't, then I need to figure out what I missed. Luckily, it's very easy to figure out what you missed. All you have to do is open up the pause menu. It tells you which star coins you've gotten in which levels, so I can very easily see what coin I might have missed. Very nice. So 8-1 is a pretty interesting level. It has these meteors, which are a bit random, but there is like a set number of patterns that you can get. The meteor RNG doesn't matter so much for this exit, but for the next exit it will matter a little more. Alright, cool. That was good. Yeah, using Luigi for this exit just makes it very easy to get up to that section and get that star coin fast. And the reason the RNG matters for this exit is because there's a section where I need to wait on some meteors to break some blocks for me. And, you know, sometimes you just get unlucky and you end up having to wait a bit. Luckily, the worst case RNG, it loses like a second and a half. It's not that bad. For an any percent speedrun though, that is very bad. Any percent is super optimized in this game, so that's pretty much run over if you get bad RNG here. It's about a 50-50 chance, or I think it is a 50-50 chance of getting good RNG, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And if I had happened to, like, get hit or die in that level or something, it really wouldn't have mattered, because I have to equip a P acorn for 8-2 anyway. So that's kind of convenient. And now we get to do another skip. That star coin can be really scary. You have to drop really close to the lava in order to actually grab it. So I'm glad that I didn't die there. You can do this level without P acorn. And like, you can still do like a skip. You don't have to ride the auto scroller. It's just about 10 seconds slower. So, you know, worst case, if I had to use that P acorn as a backup earlier in the run, no big deal. I get to show off a different skip, so it's fine. This level is good at showing how vulnerable Nabbit still really is. People like to say, oh, Nabbit's easy mode, and he kind of is, but this level is still extremely scary. Like I said before, lava can kill you. Well, I guess I've already died to lava earlier in the run. Took that quick death in World 5, but yeah. Messed up the cycles a little bit there, so I had to slow down, but that was fine. Speaking of cycles, 8-4 is another cycle-based level. It's got these blocks that like appear and disappear. You'll see them in just a second. So we're going to be making a certain cycle on that. I was not supposed to do that. Okay, this is going to be a little awkward. Okay, we should be good. Oh yeah. So I just made the next fastest cycle from what I normally make. Not a big deal. I went for another hype kick there. Unfortunately didn't get it, but that's a tougher one because of that ceiling kind of being above you as you get spit out of the pipe. So now I'm going to do what's called elevator skip. And this level's supposed to be an auto-scroller. It has like these elevator platforms that you control by actually like moving your gamepad back and forth. But that's really slow. So why would we even mess with that? I guess it is worth noting, I still do tilt my gamepad to the right to give myself a small speed boost to the right when I am on the platforms. Oh, whoops. That was a good elevator skip. Alright, so now we're heading into 8 Castle. This level can be scary. So this features Bowser Jr. and his clown car, and Bowser Jr.'s movements depend on your movement, so if you make mistakes, it's gonna be kind of weird. I am gonna be going for a fast cycle here, but if I miss it, the backup's pretty easy, usually. But I won't jinx myself. Let's see what happens. This can be a little scary. Be extra careful. Yeah, that was kind of bad, but it's okay. The important thing is that I'm pretty consistent with getting through that without, like, dying or something. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I only lost a couple seconds. If that happens in a marathon, obviously that's not a big deal. So these fireballs are the same every time. And now we're getting to our first phase of the final boss. Well, it's not our final boss, but it is the game's final boss. We still have a lot more bosses to do. This guy's really hard. You have to press B. Yeah, that's it. The one optimization you can do on this guy, that big switch I landed on, you want to land on it as far to the right as possible. Because after the fight, this little cutscene right here plays, where Luigi walks off to the right, and he walks really slow. So, yeah, you want to minimize how long he needs to walk. And you can do that by landing on the right side of the switch. So now the real final Bowser coming up. This is actually a really interesting fight. The first thing I'm going to do at the start of the fight is something called Fireball Skip. I'm going to basically time a jump and a fly right into Bowser's face, basically, or in front of his face. And he's supposed to spit out 2 fireballs at the start of the fight, but you can actually skip the second one by flying up at the right time, and it saves about 4 seconds. In addition to that, I'm going to do a strat. Well, you'll see it in just a second. I'll explain it as it's happening, so it'll make more sense. But yeah, Bowser Jr. is in his clown car for this fight, and we're gonna steal that clown car from him and hit Bowser 3 times. That's how this fight works, basically. So first of all, Bowser Jr.'s positioning is a bit random, so that's fun, because it can make it hard to get back into the car without him stealing it from you. Okay, I'm not going to get to do the other strat I was going to go for. Basically, you can kind of keep Bowser in the middle of the arena. For whatever reason, that like skips him jumping an extra time and saves like a couple seconds. But no big deal. I can actually do it on this phase, though. Yeah, so just like that. That actually skips a jump on Bowser. So no big deal that I got hit there at all, actually, because I have to equip a key acorn before the next level, so literally doesn't matter. So we are all good. I lost a couple seconds, but no big deal. It was a good Bowser fight. If you don't get back into the clown car before Bowser Jr. takes it from you, then things get a little messy, so yeah, but I mean, nothing I'm not used to dealing with. I've run this game for a couple years now, so I'm very used to this fight. So right now we actually have about 5-6 minutes of downtime. Like nothing's really happening. So in a marathon, this is a good time to read out any announcements or anything like that, or just to give everyone a quick bathroom break, right?
Thank you.
I might even well, since it's a marathon submission, I'll probably not take a bathroom break. But there's really not too much to talk about here for the credits. One thing I will mention real quick, though. So I mentioned, we beat some levels early and then some levels after we beat Bowser. So after we beat Bowser, you're going to notice that there are no more prompts asking if you want to save. And that's really important. Those are really slow. Like, those lose a lot of time. And we've completely disabled all the rest of the save prompts in the game by beating Bowser now. So, yeah, that's going to save a lot of time. The one play we are going to lose time, though, is by having to watch those extra cutscenes. Those ones where, you get, let's say, I get all the star coins in World 1, it's going to show 9-1 unlocking. I get all the coins in World 2, it shows 9-2 unlocking. That's a little bit annoying, but, not a big deal. I guess the other thing I can mention, I didn't even really talk about this before, I'm running on the Wii U version of the game, and you might know that this game is also released on the Switch as part of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And people do run that version of the game. I run that version of the game. It's actually how I started speedrunning the game. But for 100% runs in particular, the Wii U version just, in my opinion, is a better speedrun. The deluxe version's not bad, but the main issue with it is that the deluxe version has an interesting change. The way you switch to Nabbit on deluxe is not the same. You don't just hold ZL to as you're entering a level to play as him. You have to actually open up a character menu and switch to him, which, first of all, that's just kind of slow, so it means that it's less worth it to switch to him in a lot of cases. Second of all, when you beat a level as Nabbit, because the game's not treating Nabbit as like an Easter egg like it does in the Wii U version, it actually treats him as a separate character. It marks your level space, like the little circle, as purple instead of blue. And levels that are like marked as purple don't count towards 100%ing the game. Like, even if you beat all the levels, it won't count it on your file. It's really weird. So, in order to actually get 100%, you have to do all the levels as Luigi. The only way you can use Nabbit is if you use Nabbit for one of the exits in a level that has multiple exits on the Switch version. So, the Switch version has very limited use of Nabbit. Depending on what route you use him somewhere between like 1 and 3 times. It's very limited. So yeah, as a result, it's just much harder to get into speedrunning the game on the Switch. But it's still, it's still very fun. And I would still say this is probably the easiest 100% category out of the new Super Mario Bros. Series as a whole. But especially the Wii U version. That's kind of part of the reason I like it so much. It's, because it's not terribly hard, it's very good to do, like, no resets and not backups. Well, also backups. No resets, races, backups, all that sort of thing. Marathon runs. It's very nice in that way. I have a backup for, like, everything. Like, any mistake, like, I'm very prepared for. And I mean, worst case, you just use Nabbit, and you're good. There are a few levels where you cannot get all the coins as Nabbit, but I kind of have that already taken into consideration. Anyhow, I'm just kind of filling time here while the credits play out. We still have like 2 more minutes. I didn't want to really just like get up and leave during a marathon submission, but yeah. In an actual marathon, I think I would just kind of hand it over to the host if they needed to say anything. But yeah, those are just kind of the reasons I think, in particular, the Wii U version of the 100% run, the one that I'm doing now, is very good for marathons. Alright, we're almost done with the credits here. can actually play as Luigi if you want in the credits. If I'd beat the final castle as Nabbit, it would have let me play as Nabbit. Yeah, doesn't really make a difference. You can do some funny things here. You can like push all the characters together. Alright. Well, I think I filled that time pretty well. So now we're moving on to 1-2. And this is the normal exit. We already did the secret exit. And the reason I've saved a P acorn for this long is because this game has a really interesting property. Where there's certain levels where, like, if it's a level where you had to go into a pipe to do like a whole sub area and then pop back out at the end for the flagpole, which happens to be a lot of levels in this game, you can actually just fly over the entire sub area with the P acorn. Now, unfortunately, in most cases, that means that you can't get the star coins, so it's not super useful for most of 100%. But in 1-2, because it's a level with multiple exits, we can get those star coins in the sub area during the other exit. And now, we get to do this. Also, this first star coin here, I saved it for now, because if I had just gone for this flagpole without getting the coin, I would have gotten an 88 at the flagpole. But yeah, you can just skip over the ceiling there. And that's the level.
You made it.
Very cool.
Oh.
Some players actually do opt to go for the 88 fireworks there because they give you a star. And star can make some levels and stuff easier, but it's kind of slow. Like I said, fireworks are slow. This level has a very tight cycle, so let's see if I can make it. Good. Alright, that was very good. I'm very happy with that. You might have noticed a red block with an M on it at the start of this level. So now that I've beaten the game, every level has those blocks in it. And what that block does is it actually reverts me to Mario U physics. Like I mentioned earlier, in Luigi U, they gave Luigi a higher jump, and they made him more slippery. So it basically just removes your higher jump, but makes you less slippery. It only does that for the level you hit it in. So if I had accidentally hit it in this level, unfortunately I wouldn't have been able to disable it. I would have just had to play the level like that. But it wouldn't have carried over to the next level. So I know where the blocks, like there are certain ones that are just kind of in your way, but I know where those ones are so I can avoid them. But the levels, if you play them as Nabbit, those blocks don't appear at all. So yeah. So this level has a POW block that you're supposed to use, and if you throw a POW block, it like makes star coins fall down from the sky. So there's one that's in the sky here, but instead of using a POW block, I'm just gonna do this. And just barely grab it. I was actually not sure that was gonna work. But that's a really, really cool strat. Something I didn't even mention I was doing till now, but I think this would be a great time to mention it. At every flagpole, I am turning left before I hit it, and that actually saves a little bit of time on my flagpole animation. It saves more time with Nabbit than it does with Luigi, like significantly more. Nabbit, it's roughly a third of a second. I think actually it might be closer to 0.4. Luigi, it's only a couple frames. But the interesting thing is that if you triple jump into a flagpole, it does not work because you can't face left while you're triple jumping, so you just don't get the faster animation. And our older strat in 1-3 was to triple jump up to that coin that I barely grabbed. Which does make it easier, but you can't get the faster flagpole animation when you do that, so it's faster to do a single jump. Also, if I had gotten hit anywhere, like in, I don't know, one tower or something, there's like multiple backup acorns in World 1, so yeah, we're past the hard part of the run out. Well, Not necessarily, but we're past like the less forgiving part of the run, where the acorn stuff is like something I actually need to kind of worry about. Now we're kind of at the point where there's a lot of backup acorns everywhere, and the acorn's just honestly not as useful in this part of the run. Pretty soon we're actually going to reach a point where the acorn's pretty much just not useful for the rest of the run. So that's cool. However, the acorn is very useful for this next level, One-Castle. This level's really cool. It's like a dark room with like a lamp, or lamps that are like moving. I think it's a really cool aesthetic. Yeah, the reason acorn is so useful for this level is because this coin right here. You can actually grab this with ice flower as well by like freezing an enemy and then throwing it into the block. Or throwing the ice block into the coin, sorry. But obviously that's a little slower. And this is just kind of the point of the run where things start to move a lot faster. You've already gotten through a lot of those like initial cutscenes that kind of play at the start of the run. And so now you're just kind of moving right along. I mean, we've cleared pretty much all of World 1 really fast here. This next boss fight is, this is Lemmy, yeah. I get their names mixed up sometimes. This is Lemmy. This guy's really simple. So where the Koopalings pop up actually depends on whether or not, or whether you go to the left or the right of them after you hit them. So for Lemmy, I just like to go left. Other people go right, and they just have him pop up at a different time. But yeah, it's just really preference. Doesn't actually matter. We've cleared another world. So I guess for reference, we've now cleared World 6, 7, 8, and 1. And like half of World 5. So that's pretty much halfway through the run. I mean, time-wise, we're actually a little more than halfway through. But yeah. Like I said, things are going to start to go a lot faster here. So right here, you're going to see, I get this text box. You cleared all of World 1. And now it plays this little cutscene here where 9-1 unlocks. So yeah, unfortunately, like, because we're doing these earlier worlds, like after I beat Bowser, we do have to deal with those cutscenes. It is a little slow, but they're not that long. The save prompts thing does make up for it. And the fact that we don't have to watch the 5 airship cutscene definitely makes up for it. In addition to this power-up route that I'm doing just working out really well. So, as of now, we haven't been able to find a better route than this one, which is, it's convenient for a lot of reasons. So here I'm going to ground pound a slope that actually, oops. Ground pounding slopes actually, instantly lets you reach full speed again. Oh no. Okay. A little awkward. It's kind of a bad level. So 2-2 is another cycle-based level. So hopefully I don't miss the cycle here. So Nabbit, like I said, Nabbit can't take damage, but Nabbit can actually still get like a knockback from certain enemies, where he still gets stunned for a few seconds. And these rolling enemies here are one of those enemies that will cause Nabbit to get the knockback. Okay, nice. Cycle's not over. Well, okay, I'm gonna miss the next one. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, like that. I guess I got to show it off. Okay, well, that was a bit scuffed, but that's okay. Only lost a couple seconds. something I want to call attention to now before I get there. You might have noticed, like, there's those two enemies up there and then the acorn. I'm gonna have to cross that bridge pretty soon. Every time I make a move on the map, those enemies and the acorn move in a random direction. So, yeah, I have to be pretty cognizant of, like, where they're moving and kind of be keeping track of that before I even get there. Because I don't know where they're gonna be, and it's kind of just random if I can get through that bridge fast or not. That will be our last instance of major RNG though, so that is nice. This run actually had pretty good RNG so far. I did mess up Kamek, but that was entirely my fault. That was not even RNG related. Okay, so two tower is really cool. Two tower features these it's like these screws you have to spin, and they make these platforms come out from the walls. And if you want to go really fast, you want to like spin them as little as possible to like... Oh no. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, I was gonna say you want to spin them as little as possible to optimize. Yeah, the acorn makes these tower levels really cool. Nabbit, you wouldn't be able to get through these nearly as fast. Like, I know this one in particular is a lot slower with Nabbit. Oh well. So for this fight, I actually have a visual cue where I jump on him. That third window right there, I aim for the top right of it. Because a lot of people struggle with this first hit, but if you just aim for the top right of this window, you'll hit him every time. And for these boom boom fights, I wait for him to stop shaking his head, and then I jump on him. That's when he becomes vulnerable. Well, it's not when he becomes vulnerable, but it lets me land on him right as he becomes vulnerable again. That's the timing I use. People have other timings. I don't know, that's just mine. Alright, let's see how the bridge goes. Normally I would try to not hit... obviously I will try to not hit either enemy, because those are actually like an entire like encounter you have to do with the enemy. But I'll usually try not to hit the acorn either. Well, I guess I didn't hit it this time. I wouldn't have really minded for a marathon run to get that backup acorn. It is a bit of a time loss, but it is kind of nice for safety. Although at this point I have quite a few acorns in my inventory, so I'm not too worried. Oh, I think I have like 2, but I'm not worried. Because, like I said, we're going to reach a point pretty soon where the acorn doesn't matter anymore. This is another case of a level that has multiple exits, and where, while it usually wouldn't matter how you split up the coins, in this case it does. I want to grab all 3 here, because if I, like, let's say I skip coin number 1, I would get a 77 at the flagpole.
Made it.
So you want to just get them all to avoid fireworks. The route we do for this world might seem like a little bit weird, like the order we do, but it's because this level is the one that has the Nabbit chase, and in order to trigger Nabbit in this level, I need to beat this level and then do 3 more levels. And so, yeah, it'll allow Nabbit to just pop up at the right time. And like I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't mention it, but spin jumps conserve your momentum, your faster speed, so I will be spin jumping off these hills that are moving to the right in order to keep that faster speed. That was very nice. That was actually a gold. So yeah, now we can do the remaining 3 levels before 2 Castle and Nabbit should appear. This is one of those secret exits where... this game has a few of them, where How are you supposed to find this without without a guide? I don't know. I have no idea how anyone would have guessed to just ground pound there, but who knows? I think there is a sound cue, like you running on that sand, like sounds like you running on brick blocks, like it's a different sound effect. But like, who's gonna notice that? Especially like a lot of people play the game without sound or without very loud sound. I don't know. It's just a very weird secret. Alright, well, we got a next instance of RNG coming up here. 2 Secret has some Fire Bros in it. So I'm gonna have to deal with that, but it's not too bad. Also, ice in this game is slippery. So, on like the ice levels, it's especially important that I immediately jump as soon as the level starts, or else I'm gonna start slipping and sliding. Oh, that's a bit awkward. Didn't really lose time though. That was good. Yeah, basically, like, if I can see that the Fire Bro is about to throw a fireball, then I'll just wait a little bit before I drop down to grab the star coin, but otherwise, I just go for it. Pretty easy stuff. Alright, 2-5 is coming up next. We used to do this as Luigi, but we figured out you can actually just do it as Nabbit. And like I said earlier, if you can do 2 levels at the same speed as with either character, it's just faster to use Nabbit. This is another instance, though, where like Luigi made it pretty easy because you can just glide over everything. Nabbit, we actually have to platform a little bit, but I think it actually makes it really fun. I like this level quite a lot. And since these platforms are moving to the right, I'm going to try to spin jump off of them when I can. Of course, I can't do it for that one because I have to jump up to grab the coin, but for this one I can. And then this one I run it along it all the way, because that allows me to get that little speed boost for longer. Because when you run along something that's moving to the right, it gives you a little speed boost. Yeah, just little optimizations everywhere. So this Nabbit chase is actually pretty funny. You'll remember 2-6 was the level that had the rolling hills that I could spin jump off of and, you know, keep a bunch of really fast speed. And you can do that, and you can get super far ahead of Nabbit, like super quick. So much so that you actually have to slow down and wait for him to literally jump into your arms. So yeah, just like that. Next level is 2 Castle. This one, you know, it's not too bad. It's a little bit scary because there is some lava at the bottom. And one of the coins is a little bit close to that lava. So we'll see what happens. So, coming up here, coin number 2. There we go. Alright, and the next boss fight coming up is pretty interesting. So, this is Morton. I'm going to do a jump and then a fly at the start of the fight, because he's going to put this enemy in front of him, a Pokey, and I have to fly over it. Now the thing is, if I don't hit him really fast, Morton's going to swing his hammer, and when he swings his hammer, I'll get damaged. So I need to be really quick here. So what I can do is actually ground pound a little bit to the left of him, but then hold down right while I'm ground pounding, and Luigi will actually move just enough to the right as he's moving downward to land on Morton early enough to get that fast hit in. It's a little bit tight, but I got it. And then this is another instance where you have to like delay slightly when you hit him, or else you'll just get hit. I've done a good job of that throughout the run, though. I mean, sometimes I tend to try to optimize too much, and I get hit, but haven't done that so far. Alright, we're moving into World 4. So, we're actually, we basically get the option here to either go up to World 4 or down to World 3. And it just ends up being faster to go to World 4 first because of the power-up route. And there's our little confirmation message that World 2 is complete. 3 more worlds to go, and then World 9. Although we've done half of World 5 already. There is technically a new little route optimization that has been found literally yesterday for World 4, so I haven't really had time to practice that, but I just wanted to record this right now. So I'll just be doing the route I'm more comfortable with. But that only saves a few seconds, so yeah, not a big deal that I'm not doing it. But future runs will definitely do that. Alright, as you can see, Acorn is very good for this level. But just like that, we're pretty much done with needing Acorn for the run. Or worrying about it anyway. We will use it a little bit at the end if I have a backup, which like 99% of the time I do. Because I still have to do a few more Nabbit chases, I'm going to get some P Acorns. So it's pretty hard to not have a backup at the end of the run. But I will use it a little bit, but yeah, we're pretty much done with needing Acorn. I will use it for like a few more levels here, because I have it, but it barely, like it doesn't say that much. If I'd gotten hit in 4-1 or something, as long as I had gotten all the coins, I would have been fine, because, you know, Acorn doesn't say that much from now on. So that is really nice. That is one of the nice things about this game, is I can kind of just exhaust my backup Acorns before this point, because I won't need them. Alright. Now we got another pretty cool tower level coming up. It's worth noting on the world map, sometimes I have to delay when I move a little bit, because otherwise I'll just run into these penguins. I have done it before. I literally did it yesterday on world record pace. It was pretty funny. Yeah, everyone likes this level. This is really fun. The movement is super sick. Alright. It's funny enough, this fight against Boom Boom and the one in World 3 are like exactly the same. Like, I've obviously, like, most of these Boom Boom fights, I've been hitting him so fast you don't even get to see what he actually, like, does as the gimmick of the fight. But for this one in World 3, they just gave it the exact same gimmick. I mean, I guess that makes sense because you're supposed to kind of choose between them casually. But it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm a winner.
The only difference is that in World 4, the floor is slippery. Alright, well, since I do have Luigi, I am going to use him for 4-3. Or, since I do have Acorn, rather. There's actually a new strat I'm going to go for here. Hopefully it goes well. Because, I've been practicing it. And if I get it, it looks really cool. So right there I crouch jump into that upwards pipe. I've actually been doing that for all the upwards pipes that I can so far. It actually saves some time on the pipe animation for whatever reason. Here's the strat. Cool. That was really cool. That was really good. Alright. You're normally supposed to hit a P-switch to break through those blocks. But you can actually just ground pound through them. Very cool stuff. So I guess that saved about a second on my gold there. That's fun. I'm just loading up on these backup acorns that I'm probably not going to use. Here's an instance where I actually won't do a fast excel at the start of the level. I mean, I can, but it's pretty tight, because if I try to go for it, a lot of times I end up hitting that M block, and that's very slow. And if I had lost Acorn, I guess I would have gotten one back there. I do end up using Acorn for this third coin to save a little bit of time, but you don't technically need it. You can just bounce off that enemy. A tad slower. But yeah, okay, now we are actually officially done with Acorn. Pretty much, anyway. About an hour and a half into the run. Because we are going to be switching power-ups. This is where things get really interesting. So now I'm going to be getting the penguin suit. And the penguin suit allows you to like slide, and you actually have like an increased speed when you're sliding. I won't really get too into like how penguin suit works. There's some interesting like mechanics, like sliding on ice you don't lose speed, but sliding on water you do. Sliding on normal ground you lose a lot of speed really fast. You don't want to do that. You want to do a lot of jumps. Oh yeah. Other than that, there's not too much. You can spin jump to get out of your sliding state. So we'll use that a little bit. What the heck? Okay, yeah, I mean... I've never had this happen before. I don't really know. Okay, well... Like, it's really awkward because I need to, be sliding. Okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, I guess in marathons or even marathon submissions, you're always gonna have that one, like, oh, that's never happened before moment. And that was mine. Alright, that was really weird. Ah, whatever.
Made it.
Anyhow, yeah, I needed to be sliding there for that third coin so I could break through the bricks to get it. The new route thing that I was talking about earlier actually is that we swap 4-5 and 4-4. The last two levels that I just did, we just swapped them, and that actually saves a little bit of time on the map because of the way those penguin cycles work out. But the reason I didn't go for it right now is because it means you have to do 4-4 with the penguin suit. The level that I did with Acorn, you had to do that with the penguin suit, and I'm not quite comfy with that yet. It's actually faster, but... Fun fact about this level I just did, I kind of just breezed through, but on the Switch version, that level can like lag a little bit. Interesting fact about the Switch version like has like slower load times and stuff, because I guess the game is like a bit higher resolution, so everything takes longer to load, and there's also a few instances where things just like lag a little bit. But that doesn't happen on Wii U. That's part of the reason I also like Wii U. The faster load times are quite nice. Mostly because it makes it more efficient to practice. Alright. Fun fact also about this level, we get the star coins in reverse order. Well, that's fine. Bit of an awkward mistake. And right here at the end, I am going to do a crouch jump as I grab this last star coin. Because if I didn't, I would be getting a triple jump. And like I mentioned before, if I'm triple jumping into a flagpole, I can't turn left to get that faster animation. So I don't want to ever triple jump into flagpoles. If you stay crouched for a long time, you will start to lose speed. But if you do a quick crouch jump, you're good. So... this next level is where we're going to start making use of this penguin suit we've now picked up. Like I mentioned before, you don't lose speed if you slide on the ice, so this level is going to go really fast if I do it well. There is one part, though, that's a little bit scary, where I'm going to try to avoid getting hit by this icicle. If it happens, and it's not really the end of the world. I just hope it doesn't. There are backups. Alright, we made it. But, I mean, the level's not over, but we made it through the scary part. And of course I missed the coin. It's fine, that happens on occasion. Whoa! Luigi, like, I pressed the down button and he didn't go into that, like, sliding state, so I got really close to getting hit.
Made it.
Okay, we're good. That's fine. That's pretty funny. So next level is 4 Castle. I really like this one. This one kind of looks like a Mario Maker level. I mean, obviously, like, the levels will only give you, like, the 100-second timer, so you're kind of expected to basically speedrun them casually, right? And this one is a great example of that. It's basically a hold run and jump level. It's very fun. Because if you don't keep running, these swamps will hit you. Of course, as Nabbit, that doesn't matter, but as Luigi, you know. And then I'll be doing like a little crouch jump here to get into this space as soon as the brick blocks break. That is a little bit tight, but it's not too bad. So the next boss is Wendy. Wendy's really weird. The timing of her popping up is like slightly inconsistent, so I have a setup for it. Now it's just lucky that you get to do this level as Nabbit, because if you mess it up a little and land on her like too early or something, it's not that big of a deal. As Luigi, it's kind of bad. So yeah, I kind of just have a time where I jump up and then I kind of see where she pops up and try to react to that. Like that. So I'm gonna do it again on this side now. Oh man, well, that wasn't even me reacting incorrectly. I just kind of like, I just didn't land quite on it. Oh well. Yeah, as Luigi, I would have taken damage. The Koopalings also have that knockback effect on Nabbit, where like you don't take damage, but you still get knocked back. So this next part here, I need to be careful not to move too quickly on the map, or else I will hit one of these penguins. We are done with World 4, but there's one thing we did miss before I move on to World 3, and you might have noticed what it is. Nabbit Chase. Yeah, the penguin suit saves a little bit of time on Nabbit, so it's faster to do it now. In addition to it just being on our way back, since we're going to travel back and go to World 3. Actually, I don't know if it saved time to exit the level there. Well, when that happens, it just spits you out of the level. You still keep your power up and stuff. No, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. Okay, there we go. That Nabbit chase can be a little weird. That's okay. Haven't had to like redo too many things on this run. I think that was the first level I had to like redo, and then I guess I took the one quick death. But yeah, other than that, this has been good so far. Okay, this next level is a little bit faster with Penguin. I'm trying to decide if I should go for it in a marathon, because it's a little tricky. Nah, why not? I mean, if I get hit, it's not even the end of the world. I'll go for it. Try to show it off. Because there are backups if I get hit. It's just the next level will be much slower. So this first star coin is really cool. I am going to freeze this enemy and throw him at it. And you can hear the sound effect for it if you're listening closely. Oh. And that's fast because I have to wait for those geysers to move for me to enter the pipe anyway. So I can just grab this coin while I'm waiting. Alright, now this ending's the hard part. Alright. Alright, cool. That was good. It can be kind of hard to avoid all the rocks there. But that was good. That was good. So, very important that I bring Penguin to 3-2. You know, if I don't, I can just use Nabbit. It's not the end of the world. But Penguin, as you might have noticed there, when you're underwater, you save a lot of time on swimming. You can swim very fast. So I'm going to be quiet while I do this because I need to time my swims. But hopefully it goes well. Aw, man. Well, at least I got through most of the level. That's not a big deal at all. There's a penguin suit backup coming very soon, so only losing a couple seconds here at the end. Not too big of a deal. Okay, well, it was like 8 seconds, whatever. I still got to show off the cool strats. That last coin that I got can be kind of tricky.
Made it.
You have to basically freeze like one of the urchins so that it rises up, and as it's frozen, it hits the fish, and that destroys the ice block. It's really cool. Here I'm going to try to run off this platform at the right time. Fortunately, I missed it. You have to time that well to run into that little space. It only loses about 2 seconds if you miss it. Oh man. Of course, Nabbit lets you kind of just cheese this level. This one is really cool as Luigi, actually. If you ever check out a Luigi-only speedrun. And it's also different depending on the category. Like for an all castles speedrun, which doesn't require like star coins or anything, you do this with Acorn and you make like a really fast cycle. It's really fun. And then for 100%, you have Penguin Suit, and that's also pretty cool because you actually use the ice balls to freeze them. It's cool. In this category, it's not that cool, but it's okay. You have that little part at the beginning, I guess, where you have to get the first coin. So, unfortunately, because I did lose my Penguin Suit, I don't get to do this next level with Penguin. But I'm only going to lose about 2-3 seconds by doing it with Nabbit. Penguin would just save a little bit of time here because I get to slide on the water and go fast, but it doesn't really look that different than with Nabbit. Not really missing too much. Again, crouching into those upwards pipes just to save a little time on the animation. It's about 0.3 seconds. And the reason for that is because when you're crouched, your hitbox is smaller. So there's less of you entering the pipe. There's less, you know, Nabbit to enter the pipe. So he enters it faster. It's pretty cool. You can do that all over the run, save a handful of seconds. Alright, now we can do my Penguin Suit back. These fish cycles here are a little bit random. You can lose a little time on them, but it's never more than a couple seconds. Alright. This is cool. So I'm going to throw this guy and then move a little bit forward to raise that geyser at the right time so the enemy grabs the coin. And now I'm jumping on these because water slows down your penguin's speed. Now I'm going to grab this shell and throw it at the right time to grab the last coin and go right for the flagpole. It's one of my favorite levels.
Made it.
And we got our penguin suit back. So this level, should I go for this? This has a really hard strat you can do. I'll go for it. This has a really hard strat you can do where you basically hug the bottom of the screen while swimming. And it's to avoid getting hit by these fish. The thing is that if you're too close to the bottom of the screen, you will just hit the death plane and die. But if you're too far up, you hit the fish. Yeah, that's okay. As long as I get out of here, it's okay. Okay, we're good. So that's not that big of a deal to get hit here. Obviously, I just got my penguin suit back. But there's another, there's actually 2 more backups that I can still get. So I lied, we are going to be getting Acorn Suit again, but it's only so that we can power back up to a penguin. Yeah, this is a big part of the reason why this is the order that we do things in, though, is to get Penguin from World 4 and then use it for World 3, the back half of World 5, and World 9. Just saves so much time. Of course, I'm not really saving that time because I keep losing it, but we're doing fine. Backups are cool to show off, too. And guess what? We get to see Yoshi in this level. Haven't seen Yoshi all run. He's only in, I think, he's in 3 levels, but he doesn't save any time in the other one. He actually does save time in this level. I'm not just grabbing him for fun. I am gonna kind of pull a Super Mario World at the end of this level, spoilers, and just hop off of him. You do that with the backup strat. You also do that with the normal strat if I had made it here with Penguin. I am going to be doing a different strat than I would normally do, though, because I have the Acorn Suit. It's a little different than with the Penguin. Oh, actually, I probably should just... Okay, I messed up, but it's fine. Nah, whatever. No big deal. So... now we're powered up, and now we can do a cool backup. So, gotta get my penguin suit back. I would normally do this next level Nabbit, but it has a penguin suit in it, so... I'm gonna be getting that. And I wanted to power up there because if I do this level as Luigi, then the first coin is really slow if you don't just use a damage boost. You can get it without a damage boost, but it's really slow. So then I can just power up, damage boost for the coin, and then I can get my penguin suit back. And the convenient part is that the penguin suit, you have to slow down a little bit to grab it, but I have to slow down in this level anyway to wait out a cycle. So, here it goes. There's the damage boost, and then I have to slow down a little to grab this shell, which I'm going to use. But I have to wait out that cycle anyway. So, now I can grab all the coins. I can throw the shell to grab star coin number 2, get my penguin suit back. And then grab coin number 3. And just like that, we have penguin suit back. And if I had somehow lost it again, there is another one in the next level, 3-4. I mean, I already showed that one off, I guess, but you can get it in the Nabbit Chase as well. However, after that, there are no more backups. I mean, the consequences of losing Penguin Suit aren't the worst thing ever. Just a little bit slow. Nothing I can't handle, though, for sure. Cool. That was really good. That's a tricky Nabbit grab for sure. You have to unmorph from your sliding state in the air, or else you'll just stun Nabbit and then, like, keep moving forward, and it's really bad. But you can only unmorph if you've lost a certain amount of speed. So I have to slide on the water for a certain amount of time to lose a bit of speed so that I can unmorph. Otherwise, you just can't unmorph. It's a very interesting nabbit chase. Requires a bit of game knowledge to understand how to optimize it. Alright, this level's cool. So I'm actually going to be using that knockback effect from these urchins. So I'm going to try to land on the right side of this guy, so he knocks me to the right into the coin. And unfortunately I didn't get it, but I can still do a backup there where I have that guy knock me to the left. This is going a bit poorly, but that's okay. So here I could damage boost through that guy, but because of the knockback effect, it actually takes a really long time, so it's faster just to lure the enemy into him. This is actually a really interesting case where Luigi actually is technically faster for this level, but it requires damage boosting. Because Luigi doesn't get the knockback. He can just damage straight through things. We will see that in a little bit, actually. One use of that. But yeah, because I would have to damage boost, I have to use Nabbit for that. I don't want to lose my penguin suit quite yet. That is actually used in the Luigi only category. The Luigi only 100% does do a different level order for World 3, and I do some damage boosts in 3.5. Anyhow, we're using penguin suit here because this level has a swimming section. These torpedoes have very interesting hitboxes. Oh my god. The explosions of them also, like, will still damage you, so you have to avoid those. I'm actually very surprised I didn't get hit there. I'm really not sure how. Alright. And now it's time for the boss of World 3. This is Larry. I have to always remember their names. This is Larry. Larry's pretty simple, but the interesting thing about Larry is that there are water geysers that are on a cycle during the fight, so if you mess it up at all, the cycles are different and he pops up at a different point, so you really don't want to mess this guy up. It's also important that I hit him very quickly there, like I land on the left side of him, or even like hitting him kind of slow will mess the cycles up. But yeah, now I can just wait on the top there and he'll just go right into me. And then for the last hit, I wait on the right side of the screen, do a big jump in the ground pound, and that's it. And we're done with World 3. So now all we have left is the rest of World 5, which I didn't finish earlier, and then World 9. We used to actually do all of World 5 in one go, except for 5 Airship. We used to clear that rest of World 5 at the start of the run, but we figured out it was actually faster to do it now. It saves time on map movement. It also saves time because I get to use penguin suit for an extra underwater section. It does lose a little bit of time back though in one level because I don't have Acorn Luigi for it, but it's still enough that it saves roughly 10 seconds over the old route that we used to do, so it's pretty cool. And overall, this is probably just an easier and more marathon-safe route, so I like it. So yeah, this is 5 Airship, and like I said earlier, a cutscene would have played before this level. A pretty long cutscene, if I had not beaten 7 Airship already. Or had I not watched the cutscene before 7 Airship already. I believe that's what gets rid of it. But yeah, because I already did that, I don't even have to watch the cutscene. This level's also kind of a joke, isn't it? This is also one of the longest levels in the run, so definitely another time where I would hand it over to a host to maybe give some announcements or something in a marathon. I mean, obviously there were more opportunities for that during this run. I just, you know, because I'm doing solo commentary, I was just kind of talking through them. But in an actual event, you know, there'll be more time for that for sure. Like the whole credits. So, yeah. And there's plenty of cutscenes and stuff. Alright, we're coming up on our next boss fight here. Actually, I guess this guy is technically the final boss. So that's cool. is basically an auto-scroller. Fans of New Super Mario Bros. Wii might recognize this music. Mario Wii speedrunners hate this music. Yeah, all we gotta do for this guy is just lower the torpedoes into him. I mean, it's pretty easy. Gotta get up here and go right back into him. One little optimization I can do, however, at the end of this fight, is when the final torpedo hits him, I want to be at a certain spot, and that will allow the next cutscene to start sooner. Because before the cutscene starts, Nabbit also always runs to this exact spot. And if he's like all the way on the right side of the screen, then he's gonna have to run super far. But look, he's gonna barely have to move at all right here before the cutscene starts. Yeah, that was really good actually. It's pretty much right on. Okay. So now we're gonna finish up World 5. This part of the run always feels weird for me because I'm still getting used to the new route. I switched over to it pretty recently. I'm used to having these levels already done at the beginning, but yeah, no big deal. Alright. This whole section of the run does scare me a bit, because if I do die at all, I do lose my penguin suit, unfortunately. And the reason we cleared out 5 Tower earlier was because I used P Acorn for that level, and if I had saved it for now, I would have had to equip P Acorn over my penguin suit. That was actually one of the old routes, but we now do it earlier, so we can do this faster power-up route with the penguin. Even though it loses a little bit of time on map movement. It's very cool. So here I'm going to get another star. And I haven't even really mentioned this. When you have a star active, it increases your hitbox a little bit to the right when you spin jump. So I can do that to actually hit the flagpole, like, earlier. And it actually just lets you clip into the base of the flagpole. So it's very similar to another glitch in Super Mario Bros. 1 called the flagpole glitch. It's kind of funny, little reference there. And it actually saves a little bit of time. There's not a lot of opportunities to do it in the run, but that is one of them. Hardest level of the run. So this next one's actually a little bit tricky. This next level, I am going to try to make a tight cycle here for the first star coin. There's another cycle I could go for, but I think I'm going to opt out of it because this is a no reset. But yeah, I got to do some good swimming here. This is the underwater level where you save some time with the penguin. Yeah, I'm not going to make the other cycle. I could have made it through there. Good. Alright. Nice, that went really well. Those enemies can fool you a bit, but that went fine. Okay, so now we're coming up on definitely the hardest level of the run. And guess what? We have to do it twice.
Phew, made it.
Like, I called 7-6 the hardest skip, but this level's not a skip, it's just a straight up hard level.
Oh,
So this level has poison all at the bottom, and I'm gonna do it as Nabbit, so I can't just like float over everything. We used to do this with Acorn, and it is much faster as Acorn, but we really want to keep our penguin suit. So yeah. So you gotta utilize some good wall jumps there. Don't die. Alright, well, so that was actually the easy exit. The next one's the one I was worried about, so here we go.
let's go.
Hardest level of the run. I have to wait for a coin here. Okay, no! This is really awkward. Hold on. What? No! I could have even paused out of the level to save that.
Oh,
Okay, well, that's too bad.
let's go.
So I don't get to use my penguin suit. So truthfully, that loses, like... Well, it loses some time. But it's not going to lose a ton in World 9, really. I at least got to use it for 5-5. So now I'm going to just do this with Acorn because it is faster at this point, since I've lost Penguin. That was really weird. Oh well, I'm not going to dwell on it. And I get to do a cool strat here where I cling the wall and then, oops, jump up into the secret exit pipe. Oh well, we're still on good pace here. Sub 2:15 pace. That's always my goal with these like no reset runs. Try to get sub 2:15. My PB, which is also the world record, is a 2:12.17, but yeah, sub 2:15 is very good. And we're still on pace for it.
Let's go.
Oh, I shouldn't have split there. That's gonna mess up my splits. I'll fix it. So now we just gotta get the next exit in this level. 5 Ghost House. Right there, I run down the slope a little bit. So when you have star active, it actually doesn't say time to slide down the slopes. You actually do want to run down slopes. So I lied earlier when I said you never want to run down slopes. That is the one instance where you do, is when you have star. Unfortunately, this one doesn't last all the way to the flagpole, so we can't click into the base in the same way. So this next level is one we used to do as Luigi. It's an auto-scroller, and it's much easier as Luigi. However, we figured out you can actually do it as Nabbit if you're pretty skilled. We used to think it was like not possible to grab the second star coin, but I'm not really sure why we thought that, because it's actually not like that hard, but whatever.
Let's go.
But yeah, like I said, if a level is the same speed as either character, then it is always faster to use Nabbit, so we will be doing that. And of course, like, if you have Penguin Luigi, then it's not easier. Because the reason it was easier with Acorn is because you could fly to the second coin, but Penguin, I don't even want to imagine doing this level with Penguin. It sounds horrible. Also, these bullet bills have some weird hitboxes. Like, the left side of them doesn't really have a hitbox, so you don't want to land on the left side of them. So yeah, you can grab that coin with Nabbit. We did not know that for an embarrassing amount of time. There's some strats in this game where we just like found them and we're like, how do we not realize that? And then there's actually a visual cue, or sorry, an audio cue when to jump at the end. If you just try to hug the right side of the screen, you'll kind of get pushed back away from the flagpole. So you actually have like an audio cue when to jump for the flagpole. And so that's why I didn't hit any P-switches throughout the whole level, is because the P-switches would have changed the music. So I wanted the music to consistently be at the same spot every time so I know when to jump. And just like that, we're done with World 5. So we're done with everything except for World 9. And now we can head there because we finally unlocked every level.
Wow.
Oh, I guess I could have been splitting. Whatever, I'll just split here. Doesn't matter. So yeah, another auto-scroller, but this one's quick. World 9 has 2 auto-scrollers. As you can imagine, this level is really hard with Luigi. We actually do this one last with Luigi, like as the last level, World 9. You can kind of choose the order you do here, and that's just because we basically do damage boost. We don't even try to not get hit. Okay, so 9-2 is one of the levels I would have wanted to add Penguin Suit for. It saves like 4 seconds, but it's not that big of a deal that I don't, really. I think the level looks cool either way. Yeah, this level was also very much like a Mario Maker level, where you had to just keep running right and jumping. Of course, as Nabbit, I can kind of just run through the enemies and cheese it. One thing I can do here, I can jump on that block without jumping on the spring to save a little bit of time. The spring will like slow down your momentum, or pretty much just kill your momentum. And then, yeah, you can jump up to that star coin. I think the intended way... Oh my god. Holy sh... Sorry about that. That really scared me. Sorry, I'm dog-sitting a dog right now. Okay, it's fine. Sorry about that. Anyway, you're supposed to wait for those blocks to all drop and then run back for the coin, but you can actually just grab it with a precise jump. So this is the level I really wanted to keep Penguin for. It saves 15 seconds or so. So unfortunately, I just have to deal with some slow Nabbit swimming here. Yeah, sorry about the dog barking. I think someone must have just passed by the house or something. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, again, this big fish can't eat me, so I do not want to let him eat me, but it's not too hard. And this star coin will eventually just go right to you if you just keep chasing it. Yeah, so, you know, you lose a little time there from not having Penguin Suit, but that's really the punishment of losing your Penguin Suit, is really mainly just that level. So it's not like the worst thing ever. My world record actually does not keep Penguin Suit for this level. I actually lost it before, and I was still able to get world record. It's definitely not required for world record or anything. My world record is deathless, but it does have its share of mistakes. Alright, so we're into our next auto-scroller. Our last actually no, not our last auto-scroller. I lied, there's 3 auto-scrollers in World 9. So not too much to do on this one. I would definitely just hand it over to a host right here. But yeah, we're just trying not to get hit. The one cool thing about this one, because it's a vertical auto-scroller, you can, there's a pipe that you have to enter at the end to get to the area with the flagpole. And you can actually jump into it before it even comes on screen because it's already loaded. So I'll try to do that now. Oh, I was early. Oh, well, whatever. I'm going to be a little careful here because I will probably get fireworks if I go right for the flagpole. Okay.
You made it.
Okay, 9-5 is definitely a fan favorite level. So it features these brick blocks that appear like as you get close to them. But if you know what you're doing, it just looks really cool. And like these ones, you can actually get the coin before the ones on top even appear, so you can get out without having to break them. And then same right here, I can get through there before the wall appears. And I didn't even mention, every level in this game has a hidden Luigi in it. This is this level's one of my favorites. Love Super Mario World. But yeah, there's like a hidden Luigi in every level. I should have mentioned that at the start. In a marathon run, I will definitely mention that at the start, so everyone can be on the lookout for the hidden Luigis. Some of them are really fun. Alright. This next level, if you do it as Luigi, I guess like casually it's supposed to be like one of the hardest levels. As Nabbit, it's kind of a joke. And honestly, as Luigi, it's kind of a joke if you know what you're doing. But I guess casually it's kind of hard. There's a way you can set yourself up to just run straight through all of this as Luigi, like pretty easily. Alright. So this next level is our last Nabbit level.
Oh.
It's been fun, but had to come to an end at some point. But this is also a hard level. These dudes can be such trolls. Like, if you try to jump onto them at the wrong time, they just move away from you. You have to time it really well. So I'm supposed to grab that cloud above me. I'm actually going to skip it. Because I can make it all the way to here and grab the next cloud instead. And that saves a couple seconds. This is not how you're supposed to grab this guy, but it is way faster. And now I'm going to try to jump here at the end. Kind of early, although not too early because I'm playing it a little safe. You want to get out of that cloud as soon as possible because now the trap is slower. When in the cloud, once you're out of that cloud, he's moving a little faster towards the flagpole. Alright, no more Nabbits. Let's finish up the run. So this is the level I was talking about. Like, if you use Nabbit for this level, it features these big spiked balls, and you'll get the knockback effect on them, and you don't want that. Like, you could do it, it's just slow. So as Luigi, we're actually just going to damage boost. Like, we've gotten through most of the run at this point. We don't really need our power-up. So, I'm just going to damage boost. And we don't get the knockback at all. Gotta wait here for this coin. Only for a second. Alright, and just like that, we're done with 9-8. After you beat every level in World 9, I don't remember if you have to collect all the star coins, but after you beat every level, you unlock 9-9. And 9-9 is auto-scroller, but 9-9 has one really cool thing. If you hold ZL to enter that level, instead of entering as Nabbit, you get to play as your Mii. So my Mii is a hamburger man. So yeah, I get to play the final level as a hamburger, which is pretty cool. The one interesting thing about this level also is if you just like let your character fall, like you will descend much faster. You will fall towards the bottom of the screen much faster. But if you move left and right, you can slow your descent. So it's very easy to just stay on the top of the screen. Like I could fall if I don't move, or I could just move left and right to stay up here. So yeah, they don't explain that to you anywhere in the game. I guess they have like coin paths that you're kind of supposed to follow for this level to make it easier. But yeah, I actually kind of struggled with this casually until I understood that mechanic. And then at the end here, there is a pipe that I'm going to drop down into. Hopefully I don't do it too early or I hit the death plane. Alright, perfect. That was great. And one final pipe jump. End off the run. Alright, and that's it. I'm actually tying my old PB here, or maybe missing it by 1 second. But yeah, there are 2 text boxes right here, and the time is when the final text box, or the second text box comes up. So the final text box. And that's a 2:14:51. That's really good for a no reset run. So yeah, if you have watched this far, I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun doing this. This was really fun. And hopefully this can get into a marathon. Hopefully the One-And-Done-athon is what I made this for, but you know, I end up using this for any other marathons. This is a really fun submission to do. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to message me if you're watching this.